Not surprisingly, many critics of the Modi government have been very quick to jump upon the present flare-up, or should I say the standoff in Chumar and in Demchok, and have blamed the confused foreign policy of the Narendra Modi government as responsible for that. They point out that it's only been a few days since Mr. Xi Jinping left India, and in those few days there has been an aggressive comment from the Chinese president asking for loyalty from his troops for a localized regional war in the age of information technology, along with the build-up, and that's clearly aimed at putting India in its place. So did the Modi government get its moves wrong? Should it not have preempted the situation? Did we fail to read the Chinese well, and how are we going to handle it now? On the debate tonight, a quick introduction. We're going into an open debate, which means I'm not going to go in for introductory comments. Just one question at the start. We can go into debate then. Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP is taking on Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP is taking on C.R. Kesavan of the Congress Party. General G.D. Bakshi, editor of the India Military Review. Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy of JNU. D. Raja of the Communist Party of India. My first question is to senior journalist and columnist Swapan Dasgupta. Mr. Dasgupta, is Modi's, Modi, has he confused his policy vis-a-vis China? And should he be held responsible for this standoff and for having to fail to read the Chinese well?
Well, you see, Arnab, if Mr. Modi had persisted with the rather pusillanimous foreign policy as regards China, that the earlier government had conducted, then I think we would have seen the Chinese actually stop whatever canal construction was going on in Chumar, walk into Indian territory, or what we believe is Indian territory, they don't. And it would have been a one-sided, no face-off, no problem, love and fresh air for Mr. Xi Jinping, and it would have been fine all along. But the problem, I think, and much to the discomfiture of the Chinese of China, Mr. Modi made it very clear during his interactions with the China's president, is that unless tensions in the border subsided, all those economic diplomacy would bear absolutely no fruit. And this was a very, very important message, and a message which has not been given by India so far. Whether it was the sudden China's realization that India had acquired a spine, which has led to China persisting and trying to stare India down, is the question which we have to ask. Now, my contention is that after a very, very long time, India has stood its ground in a part
so
of
you actually, okay, interesting argument. No, your interesting argument.
We would have actually seen it
okay, I said open debate.
Which we could have launched.
I said open debate. We are seeing the first interjection. Other panelists can.
I would say that if Modi's fault was that he reversed the foreign policy of the previous UPA government and stood up for India. Now, if that's a crime, I think Mr. Modi is guilty of a gross.
Mr. Dasgupta, may I just say at the start that you have many qualities. You are an extremely gifted writer and a man of great eminence and scholarship, but I find today that you also have the unique quality to pull water out of a rock and see light in a solar eclipse as far as diplomacy is concerned. You're actually saying today, Swapan Dasgupta, that Modi...
Colourful imagery.
No, what you're saying is that, interesting, Swapan Dasgupta argues that because Modi held his ground, the Chinese are acting tough. The counter question can be put that, did he act tough enough? Was he not pusillanimous in his own way? Was there a difference between the way in which he spoke about Chinese expansionism in Japan compared to the silence of the Narendra Modi government on the eve of him representing India at the United Nations General Assembly? C.R. Kesavan is countering you. Go ahead, Mr. Kesavan.
Arnab, I just want to say this. If Mr. Narendra Modi's approach is different and, he sent a strong message, why do we have such intrusion and escalation of troops? The army chief was supposed to be in Bhutan for a 4-day visit yesterday. He's cancelled it because it is very dire. Let me say this, Arnab. The bend over backward policy to appease and please the Chinese has cost us. The Indian government has lost the perception.
Oh, so you admit?
Come across as weak.
So you admit what Swapan Dasgupta said? You concede? You concede right on top of the debate tonight that Manmohan Singh has had a bend over backwards policy. You are saying Manmohan Singh had a bend over backwards policy.
When Depth Sang happened, we had 40 people. Today, the build-up is 1,000 people there standing in soldiers. Let me say this: today is a great day for India. The scientists took India closest to the red planet, but the BJP government has got the Red Army right inside India, and this is happening after the visit of the Chinese president. And I'll tell you why. If I'm not interrupted, because of the bending backward policy of the BJP. First, when the president comes in, what do? We say that northeastern people should not be allowed in the hotel where he stays. Is this the message we are sending? Then what we say, employees shouldn't be there, people should not be accepted in the mall, where northeastern people, Mr. Rijju couldn't even attend the state banquet. And what does the Nagaland speaker say? He's an ally of the BJP. He says it is an insult to the people of the northeast that they've been kept away. This is the bend over backward policy. What does the Gujarat government do? Gujarat government releases map.
Am I talking about the Gujarat government map? I spoke about that on Monday.
No.
I spoke about that on Monday. Don't get into non-important areas. Address the issue.
It is not non-important, Arnav.
No, address the issue.
It is the approach.
What was your approach? What was your approach? Mr. Kesavan, calm down. What was your approach? What was your approach? Your approach was that you continued to maintain for the longest possible time. And by the way, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the BJP.
India is the largest democracy.
I'm surprised tonight.
India doesn't have a full-time defense minister. India doesn't have a full-time defense minister. Let this government, which was voted into power with such majority, answer this question.
Yeah.
Why don't they have a full-time defense minister?
Yeah, so it's better.
Don't they owe to the people of India?
Well, I don't know but the general quip around is that it's better to have a part-time defense minister than a non-defense minister like A.K. Antony, who thought it was fit to travel for Beijing. Let me complete, Mr. Kesavan. Don't verbally heckle me tonight. Right. So, A.K. Antony thought it was fit to travel for Beijing for talks between July 4th and July 7th, which was weeks after Chinese came to Indian territory and took away our security cameras. I don't know what approach you had then. And I'm really surprised tonight, if I may say so, that the BJP has nothing to counter you with. Maybe Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi is already on the back foot.
Today they have their most powerful aircraft. Today they have the most
three hands going up there.
Aircraft being built up in Tibet.
Three hands go up there, but not of the BJP. Very interesting. The BJP not putting its hands up. The left wants to counter. GD Bakshi wants to counter, and Professor Chenoy wants to counter. But the BJP spokesperson on the program tonight probably has no counter, which is why he's not speaking. Yes, GD Bakshi, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let everybody speak, then finally I will speak.
I admire your patience tonight.
I
admire your patience.
I would like to point out, can I kindly have my say? Can I kindly have my say? Arnab, the Chinese have been following a paradoxical approach. And we have noticed this pattern from last year. Whenever any of their major leaders comes talking peace, trying to wave the the hand of friendship, we have the PLA getting tough. And it is not because the PLA is a rogue army like the Pakistan army. It is by a deliberate design. It is a deliberate carrot and stick policy. I think the only answer to such a deliberate paradoxical approach is to adopt an equally paradoxical approach. When they talk nicely, be nice. When they are not nice, be tough.
Were they being nice?
Give them a tit for tat.
No, were they being nice when
what is required?
Were they being nice
as far
when
as the Congress is concerned? No.
No, were they being nice when Xi Jinping was here? When they began the troop build-up?
Of course, they are not being nice. And
so was it a miraculous? No, 1 second. Was it a miraculous coincidence? Was it a miraculous coincidence?
No.
Did the Modi government not know, Professor Chenoy? Did they not anticipate?
It is a policy ploy.
They didn't know? What kind of diplomacy is this? On the one side, they are troubling you with a civilian build-up in Chumar and in Demchok, a military build-up in both these places. And on the other side, you're rolling the red carpet in Ahmedabad and in Gandhinagar. You're walking along the Sabarmati riverside. It's nice. It's a nice photo opportunity, but doesn't it reflect a confused foreign policy vis-a-vis China? I mean, this is not the way the Chinese talk. The Chinese like to talk direct, straight, one-to-one, a conversation. I mean, that's not what we saw on the first day when Xi Jinping landed here. I mean, You can have ceremony, but ceremony up to what point and for what purpose? And I'm very interested to see tonight the BJP representative has no answer. Probably he concedes that his government's confused foreign policy towards China. Professor Chenoy. Professor Chenoy.
No, but Arnab, this is not just the BJP's problem. When you go in for talks with China, you have to have talks before talks in Beijing and make issues very clear. Successive governments, including the UPA, have not done this. And this is despite advice they've been given by the military advisors, by ambassadors and all that. So there seems to be a terrible continuity of ambiguity in Indian foreign policy towards China. And please note, China has tried to keep us out of any body where we could come to a reconciliation. For example, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, they have insisted we remain an ordinary, not a full member, until Pakistan becomes a full member. So I think we've handled the Chinese wrong. We should have straight talks with them and don't think that these niceties on the streets of Ahmedabad are going to change anything.
Absolutely not.
Hard talk with
I agree
Chinese.
with you. I agree with you. And in April 2013, I went to... Yes, Sudhanshu Trivedi, I see your hand go up. Do you want to let Mr. Raja also have his say? Because you are today the picture of politeness on Newshour. You've broken all records of simply being polite and letting the other side speak, Mr. Trivedi. I find your position on China very different from your position on Yogi Adityanath. Just a small observation tonight. But you will be well advised to know, Mr. Trivedi, that in April 2013, your current Defence Minister Arun Jaitley had all the answers to tackle Chinese aggression. At the time of the increased aggression into Ladakh, he said that there are various options available for a government. You contrast that readiness to deal with China to the muteness and the denial of the BJP when it is sitting in power. Mr. Raja?
No, I want to...
Okay, sure, okay, you want to go ahead. No, but let Mr. Raja also have his say, then I'll see how you respond to all tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Arnab, we should discuss certain substantive issues. It is a fact we have border disputes between India and China. Both the countries have acknowledged this. Both countries have agreed to sort out these border disputes through a meaningful dialogue.
Where is the meaningful dialogue?
Mechanism to carry. That is what we are insisting, and it is there, meaningful dialogue.
What?
Let us forget polemics.
No, 1 second. What meaningful dialogue? I don't see any meaningful dialogue happening. GD Bakshi wants to counter you. No, sir, please.
You don't see. You don't see.
Sir, you're taking a pro-Chinese position.
And both countries. No, listen to me. Both countries have agreed to carry forward the talks, and talks are at higher level. We hope the talks result.
So why are you so soft towards China?
Solution to
So why are you so soft towards China?
Let us not.
Why are you being so soft towards China,
anybody.
Mr. Raja?
No. I am objective and realistic, unless others. I am very.
They are not even truly communist as a state anymore. Why are you so soft and prejudiced towards them?
It is not the question of
Arnab, can I come in?
It is the question of being realistic.
No, what is realistic? What is realistic, sir? Sir, you want us to roll up and crawl over, and you want us to say that in our country, no, sir.
Bilaterally,
sir, there
is a dialogue process.
What is?
We should understand this.
Sir, Mr. Raja, you are being. Sir,
China has agreed that.
No, wait a minute. Arnab, can I come in?
Yes, go ahead, General Bakshi.
The issues out of.
Sir, I think Mr. Raja, when there is a Mr. Raja, when there is Mr. Raja, listen to me.
I know what you are trying to say, but one should be realistic and objective. We are two neighbors, and we should live as neighbors.
Sure.
We should improve our relations.
Sure, Pakistan is also a neighbor.
That must be our approach.
Pakistan is also a neighbor. But we should be realistic vis-a-vis them also.
Is also on the other side.
In case of Pakistan also, the
GD Bakshi, please, and after that Sudhanshu Trivedi must get a chance to speak up.
Meaningful dialogue, and India and Pakistan should have very good relations.
Go ahead, General Bakshi.
Mr. Raja, can somebody else kindly
Yes,
come in?
Mr. General Bakshi, go ahead.
Mr. Raja, Mr. Raja, there have been 17 rounds of talks between the special representatives of the two countries, and it has yielded nothing.
So what?
I think what
So
it
what?
needed
Let
was
there be
that
18th
this
round of
time,
talk.
when the
Let
Chinese
there be
PLA
18th round of
staged
talk.
an incident,
Let there be 19th
while
round of talk. What
their
is the
president
problem?
was here, the Indian army has
Do you-
given a
do you
firm
need to say what
response
is the
back,
solution?
and that
I
has
am asking
brought
you.
the
I
centrality.
am asking
Please
you,
listen to me.
do you
Please
need
listen to
say
me.
What is the solution?
Please. No, please.
I am
I'm
listening.
answering that.
I'm
I'm
listening.
answering that. I am answering that. Please. You know, it was essential to underline the centrality of the border issue when the Chinese president was here. And the only way to do that was by a firm response by the Indian army on the border to the Chumar provocation, so that the Chinese president has been made fully aware of the feelings in this country, that unless the border issue is resolved, it cannot be put
That
on
is
the
right.
back burner.
That is
So
right.
your
It
General
has to be
Bakshi,
brought to the
General
fore
Bakshi takes it
and
to a new
brought
level.
to
No,
a
one second.
logical
General Bakshi
conclusion.
actually says
It
tonight
cannot be allowed
that
to hang
that
around.
standoff should have been turned into a confrontation. Many will disagree with your position, but you have a right to say it. Yes, Sudhanshu Trivedi. So you see everything went wrong for the BJP. It appears your government is not sure how to deal with China. You know how to deal with Pakistan. You have a very aggressive line vis-a-vis Pakistan. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Trivedi, that Mr. Modi sent a strong signal to Pakistan and the international community when he called off the talks immediately after the Pakistan High Commissioner met the separatists on our soil. And you were on the channel saying, look here, this is how our government will respond to these situations. Now, you have a very weak message.
Now I would like to
we
put
almost
the
back
facts
down to
both-
China by
both for
choosing to
past and
remain
present.
mum. Why don't you? Why do you remain mum? Why do you have cold feet when it comes to China?
Then
Sudhanshu
you
Trivedi.
draw your conclusion. You are too much in hurry to draw a conclusion on BJP. First of all, the inclusion number of incursions in Chinese border was abruptly started in which year? In 2007 till 2006, it was around 140. First, let me complete the sentence. It's not fair. I am listening since around 15 minutes. It 206, then it suddenly rose to 270, from 140 to 270. It's almost double and continued on the same pace. Then as soon as our government came, during the incursions, their previous government, their foreign minister Salman Khurshid went to China and he on record said that he has not raised that issue. As soon as our government came, we have taken a step in the first 15 days that we have cleared all the environmental clearances for military projects along the China border within few kilometers. This may be a clear-cut indication what the policy of the Modi government going to be towards the China. What Swapan Das Gupta ji was saying,
Sir,
I substantiate to that on this issue.
Of course
then
you
what
will.
happened in the present context? Kiran Rijiju has given a statement, and today the ambassador of China has been talked in an unequivocal term by the Ministry of External Affairs. Our Prime Minister sitting by the side in the open press, the Chinese people.
Yeah. No, 1 second, he's still speaking.
China and India relation, when the Prime Minister of Congress Party has said in front of a Chinese Premier that they have raised the issue.
So what?
And in the entire history, for the first time, but the only time when India has got any concession from China, it was in 2003 when China has forfeited its claim on Sikkim.
What concession?
It was during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's visit of Beijing in 2003. So as far as our policy is concerned, we are firm. And I will also like to remind you, in the first week of May 1998, around the week before nuclear explosion, our then defense minister, George Fernandes, has said, China is our threat number one if China goes like this. Can defense minister of any Congress regime...
Sir, don't force me to speak. Don't force me to give out the reality now, sir. Don't twist the facts.
The policy of the
Sudhanshu Trivedi, don't twist the facts. Don't twist the facts. Don't twist. I want to add. You want to know about the history of how the BJP government deals with China? Should I tell you the history?
Should know the fact.
Should I tell you the history?
That Nathula Pass after 1962 war was opened in 2003.
I'm going back to Swapan Das Gupta.
in concessions for China.
Sir,
We have dexterously handled the diplomatic issues and also the strategic issues.
I must make 2 points very quickly before I come to, and I'm coming to Sopada. You say concessions. What concessions? $20 billion is a concession. It increases the trade deficit between the two countries. Nathula, you call a concession? Well, they should have given it to India a long time back. And a lot of Indians eager to go. A lot of Indians eager to go. A lot of Indians eager to go. You give the people. You give the Indians.
I'm not talking about business concessions, Arnav. Don't misguide. It's not Arnav. It is not business concession. What? It is forfeiting the claim on Sikkim and opening the Nathula Pass. This is the pure strategic concession which our government has got in 2003.
Well, I don't know.
And then Congress asked whatever they have got.
I know you do.
Jawaharlal Nehru on the floor of the House in 1962 has said, even if the Chinese has come,
Mukul Kesavan asking a counter question,
and this
please
Communist Party who has supported Chinese aggression in 1962. Left parties, some of the left parties have supported Chinese aggression in 1962. And these parties are trying to tell a lesson to BJP.
You need to let us speak here.
It's ridiculous.
I've been waiting patiently. I just want to make one point. Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi said that the Chinese NO had been called today. But what has happened today? There have been troop build-ups in Tibet. They have bought their strongest aircraft in Gongkha, and they are building up troops. If really the Prime Minister was given assurances by the Chinese President, why does the incursion still escalate? That is the question we need to ask. Let me tell you this. The President of China
Mr. Keswan, the entire Chinese problem is because of Jawaharlal Nehru. When the entire world was not ready to accept the Chinese claim on Tibet, it was Jawaharlal Nehru who has taken a stand. Even in Bandung Conference in 1955 to 1959.
Please get back.
You are the generator and operator of the entire problem and trying to put the blame on BJP on the 100 days. Despite our government is taking a tough stand.
The Prime Minister has not made a statement. If the Prime Minister is taken to be serious, if the government is not weak in Tibet, the Chinese will listen to you. They are continuing.
You give an example when your Prime Minister has given any statement. Your Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru has said that even if they have come in the land, it was a barren land. There is no use of that.
Let him make his point. Mr. Trivedi, why are you not letting the congressman complete?
Arnab, the problem is this. Trade and commerce cannot be a substitute for national security. We have to ensure that the borders and the people of India are safe and secure. Please do not substitute trade and commerce agreements for this. Don't put the Indian lives and Indian people in dire.
One thing baffles me.
The weak and faint-hearted BJP with their bend-over backward approach has really ensured that this is an unprecedented situation. Please have I'll tell you one thing. Have a full-time defense minister and please do justice to the people of India. Why don't you have a full-time defense minister?
First of all, don't talk about full-time or part-time. First of all, don't speak about full-time or part-time. It was It was under the UPA. It was under the UPA regime.
No, Arnab, can I come in here?
One second. Small counter to Mr. Kesavan.
BJP government has taken over.
Mr. Kesavan.
See the number of incursions which have increased.
Calm down, Mr. Kesavan. It was under the UPA government that you went ahead in a blindfolded way, signed the border cooperation agreement. Manmohan Singh said, oh my God, I've taken such a big step to maintain peace along the border. Today there are 334 transgressions. This year alone, will you take responsibility?
There has never been a brazen.
You should be
a brazen, blatant intrusion like this. There has never been a brazen, insolent intrusion.
Arnab, can I come in?
Swapan Das Gupta needs to come in. After that, GD Bakshi, I'm coming to you. I saw him raise his hand twice.
Like this is especially because of you.
Arnab, I just want to,
Yes.
Arnab, I just want to make a few other points, larger points in this whole thing. Number one, I think we ought to realize, and I think we should be candid enough to say, that in various ways, the Indian army, along the line of actual control, is operating with one hand tied behind its back because for a long time it has had no infrastructural support. Our capacity in that area, and not least in Arunachal and places like that, are very little compared to what the Chinese have invested. And that, to my mind, constitutes an enormous institutional failure which has been mounting for decades. That's number one. Number two, our institutional understanding of what Chinese foreign policy means to this country is also terribly flawed. For the past 10 years, we have been trying, our entire foreign policy was based on the notion that how do we second guess the Chinese. Sometimes our sinologists actually play the role of sinophiles. In other words, they seem to be more concerned with trying to decipher and read the meaning of what China actually means rather than uphold Indian interests. Number 3, for the first time after the visit to Mr. Abe in Japan and the visit of Tony Abbott from Australia into this country, India has taken the first tentative and sure-footed moves in order to create a larger regional configuration in which this larger Chinese issue can be dealt with. I think we have to look at everything within that context. We have to look at this.
Yeah, but Mr. Dasgupta, I have just one. You know the most elementary question.
I want to raise it to a level because Mr. Kesavan's understanding of history may not be that profound. He should realize that it was an Indian Prime Minister who actually said, my heart goes out to the people of Assam. It's up to him to find out why Jawaharlal Nehru believed that the Chinese have a right to walk into Assam in 1962 and why subsequent prime ministers did not act urgently to believe that this constitutes a major threat.
Though I don't want to. Watch. Mr. Dasgupta, though I don't want to go back 52 years. No, 1 second. I hope that we don't have to go back 52 years.
That was an aside.
No, fine. If it was an aside, I have a more basic. Okay, 1 second.
Swapan Dasgupta directed a question to me. I'll just answer it in a brief minute.
Yes.
I will not have the whole
question to you. Mr. Kesavan, you are not worthy of the question. I was just making a point.
I just want to place one thing on record. Swapanji, I just want to place one thing on record. I want to talk about the present and we have full faith in the Indian Army. We are worried about the botched up photo opportunities, symbolism, diplomacy of the BJP government. It's high time they ramp up and ensure that things stop. Let the Prime Minister of the country make a statement and put an end to this.
Mr. Kesavan, can I ask you something? Honestly and sincerely, give me an answer.
No. Chinese saying. Mr. Kesavan, there is an old Chinese saying which says, when the finger points to the moon, the idiot points to the finger. We are talking about a larger problem on the border, LAC. You're talking about photo opportunities. Come on.
That's the problem.
Let's get to the reality of the whole thing. This is a far more serious issue. This is a far more serious issue. How do you treat somebody who comes as a guest, who invites themselves, and therefore, do you tell them, do you actually throw tomatoes?
Counters being allowed. 1 minute.
What is the ground situation in Eastern Ladakh today?
Mr. Kesavan, what was the ground situation when Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi? No, 1 second. 1 second, General Bakshi. The moment I mention Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, Mr. Kesavan gets nervous. Please calm down, sir. Take the question.
I didn't know.
Sir, 1 minute. No, General Bakshi, he has to answer this question. I want to know. I want to know from the Congress representative on the Newshour tonight. I want to have an honest answer from him. I want the Congress representative to give me an honest answer. I want him to tell me, 1 second, General Bakshi, just after this. Tell me, Mr. C.R. Kesavan, with what strength and with how much anger and with how much energy did Mr. Rahul Gandhi confront Xi Jinping when he met him? This time when he was in India. Tell me about it. Tell me if Rahul Gandhi even raised this issue. Tell me.
I'm really intrigued about your question because when the opposition leaders go on, you have a government sitting here. And
that's no answer. That's no answer.
The Congress party has please let me complete. The Congress party has a long-term ties with the Communist Party and we have reiterated in our way.
Oh, so you have independent ties with the Communist Party. Oh, this is touching.
Why is the BJP uncomfortable taking questions?
What are you saying?
We did it for 10 years.
Counters coming in, I think
uncomfortable answering.
1 minute. I think.
No. Today you said.
Mr. Kesavan.
Sir, you answered me by saying.
Arnab, this is so touching.
Arnab,
yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Arnab, this is so touching. For almost 50 years since after the war, the Congress party failed to create the road infrastructure. It failed to arm our armed forces. It failed to provide us the artillery. You know, it failed to provide us the air cover and the air power. And now they are crying from the high heavens. They followed a policy of appeasement, absolute downright kowtowing to the Chinese. And now they are preaching to the country as to how to take a tough stand. I think we owe these incursions to the Congress party. Pusillanimity and their sabotage. You know, he's growing eloquent about his defense minister. He sabotaged the Indian armed forces.
Mr. Kesavan, I'll tell you a bit of contemporary history, not 52-year-old history.
Please.
I'm coming, Sudhanshu Dwivedi, I'm coming to you after this. Contemporary history, which will be good for you, since you couldn't answer my previous question. Sir, you will remember that there was a... 1 minute. I told you about A.K. Antony's visit and for peace and tranquility. A.K. Antony was asked, why are you going to Beijing? There has been a 21-day military standoff. Your army is suffering. They are putting up dead tents and banner drills, and the PLA troops have come 19 kilometers into our territory. The Indians are being abused and insulted and humiliated. And Mr. Antony, why on earth at a time like this are you going to China? You know what Mr. Antony said? He said, I'm going to find peace and tranquility. Now, I don't know if he has a secret Shaolin master there. But my question to you is, you can't answer my previous question by saying, I have an old relationship with the Communist Party of India. Sir, you humiliated. They humiliated us in your tenure. They humiliated us in your tenure. You have no moral right.
You're asking the Congress Party questions.
I am asking you because you are trying to take a high moral ground tonight. Because you discovered...
They have the mandate. Why are they not? Why has the BJP government failed to stop
Sudhanshu Dwivedi, the question being put back to you. Question being put back to you. The Congress party says, yes, we messed up. Yes, we were pusillanimous. Yes, we made mistakes. Yes, our defense minister did nothing.
Arnab, you're twisting my words.
Okay, I have a right to be sarcastic. It's all right, sir. It's all part of a debate, nothing personal. The question is, Sudhanshu Dwivedi, Congress party rightly asked you, what on earth are you doing? What happened to you? Is this what you promised the people of India?
It's not so easy, both in the contemporary history and the 52-year-old history, that you are saying just by you get off scot-free by just saying you have messed up. When China was making dams on Brahmaputra river, they were having more than 10,000 troops in Ladakh, and they were writing on the walls, and it was a clear-cut satellite
picture. They are still doing that.
They were capturing.
They are still doing all that, and you are being able to do nothing.
Gwadar. Even they were involving in Maldives. What you were doing? They were doing nothing. And in that situation, even General Bakshi was saying that in the 52 years, they have not strengthened the supply lines, road and infrastructure along the border. It was our government who has taken a stand within 15 days to clear at least the environmental hurdle should be cleared off. This is a clear-cut mandate. Another thing, Communist Party of India is saying, 52-year-old history cannot be taken away with a very strong fact that some of the left parties have supported Chinese
Mr. Raja
in 1962. And then the Congress defense minister is saying we are having old ties with the Communist Party.
Yeah.
That Communist Party which supported China in 62.
Arnab.
Yeah.
And then this such a blatant,
Arnab.
disastrous, anti-national stand.
Arnab.
We cannot get say, oh, it's 52-year-old. I want to ask Mr. D. Raja, is he ready to apologize and say that the stand of the Communist Party at the time was wrong in 1962 and they should apologize to nation?
Are, come on, let me answer to you. Let me answer to you.
BJP government today, the
as far as CPA is concerned, we never supported the Chinese aggression, and we called it Chinese aggression. We condemned the Chinese position. As far as CPA, we did not take a different stand, and don't call it as anti-nationalist stand. We know what is nationalism, what is patriotism. We don't need to learn from anybody what is patriotism, what is nationalism. We were in the forefront of the freedom movement in this country, and you go to the history and let us not make it as a cheap politics here, cheap polemics here. Let me come to some valid points.
Fine. Far from an apology, you got... No. 1 second.
Communist Party of India, not Indian Communist Party.
You listen.
Your title
I
in
am
India
talking
is
about
Bharat Ki Communist Party.
India.
This is
not
amazing.
Bharatiya Communist Party.
This is amazing.
I am.
It
This
means
is-
you
I am speaking
consider
about
yourself
Communist
not
No,
a
no,
Party.
this is, no, one second. By the way, one second, Mr. Raja, Mr. Trivedi, one second, Mr. Raja, Mr. Trivedi, just stop for a minute. In this election campaign, no, one second, Mr. Raja, I'll come to you.
You are distorting history. What do you know in Indian history? You are distorting history, and I am representing Communist Party of India. You should trust me.
So I'm telling you.
The Communist Party
So I'm
of India. You are not. That is why I am telling you.
I am asking Mr. Trivedi.
We should arrive at truth based on facts.
No,
and
Mr.
you don't have facts. But you are accusing
Professor
Communist Party of
Chenoy,
India.
Professor
You
Chenoy, there are
questioning the
three facts on the Newshour tonight.
nationalism of the Communist
Three
Party of
facts.
India. Who
Three
are
fa-
you?
three
Where were
fa-
you when we were fighting against British colonialism for the independence of this country? So don't try to teach patriotism and nationalism to Communist Party of India. Now what is the problem? Problem today. The problem is India and China lack mutual trust.
Why are you
Trust in
why
each
are you
other.
trying to blame both sides equally? No, why, Mr. Raja, are you trying to blame both sides equally?
Listen to me.
No, I listen to you, but you are blaming both sides equally.
Yearly resolution to the border disputes is important for mutual trust.
Yeah, but that's a
and
slogan.
cooperation.
They are on our borders.
And this
They have increased their mobilization.
Campaign at this point of time is to push India to American camp at the time of Indian Prime Minister's visit to America. It is America which is trying to firm up itself.
I'm
for
sorry.
more
This is ridiculous.
This
I'm sorry, Mr. Raja. Mr. Raja, this is one of the most, this is one of the most.
I am sorry.
Mr. Raja, I'm sorry. I have great respect for you. I have great respect for you. I have tremendous respect for you, Mr. Raja. Mr. Raja, as a politician, as an individual, as a humanist, I have great respect for you. But I must observe here that despite all my respect for you, this is one of the most ridiculous theories you've ever put. You are saying that China has been aggressive towards India to force India towards the American camp?
This is the ridiculous design which you
Sir,
have.
this
in
is
your
impossible.
argument. Otherwise, you speak the truth. Speak the truth. Of India and
I don't know, Mr. I think I'll get Mr. Dasgupta, Dr. Dasgupta and Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy to respond to this.
Listen to me.
Sir, you are saying that
BRICS. India is part of Shanghai Cooperation. India and China are working together. Now,
so why are you sounding like an apologist for China?
Each other. There should be. I am speaking for my own country. Do you think India and China can go for a war at this point of moment? What are you talking? In the
responses, please.
Times of channel.
Who is arguing for a war? You're arguing for standing up for yourself. You confuse the facts. One second. I would like to know if Kamal Mitra Chenoy or Swapan Dasgupta want to come in at this stage because they've been quiet for a long time. 1 second. Swapan Dasgupta is coming back to you. 1 second. 1 minute, Swapan Dasgupta, please. By the way, don't take it otherwise, sir. I think you're being very soft. And I'm sorry, but you're sounding like an apologist for the Chinese on this subject to say that China has been aggressive to India to push us towards Washington. Swapan Dasgupta can respond to this one, please. Yeah. And by the way,
I am talking about you.
Fine. You can say what you want to me, sir. I still have respect for you. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Dasgupta.
Look, Mr. Raja may be on firm ground when he says that the CPI, as opposed to the CPM, actually supported China. So it was actually the CPI which said it was an aggressive movement. So factually on that point he's quite correct. But I think we have to take a larger view of what constitutes the larger Chinese game. When Mr. Modi used the term expansionist in Tokyo, he raised a lot of hackles within India as well as in China itself. But if you really look upon the larger designs of China, you will see that it is using its considerable and admirable economic clout to arm twist basically the rest of Asia into adopting a subordinate status. And India doesn't as yet fit into their scheme of things, but with India they believe they have a border, a vulnerable border in which they have the upper hand in which to force the issue. So they want to say that look, you play, you enter into our cooperation, you enter into our agreements as a price to be paid for a certain degree of peacefulness.
Why doesn't the Modi government say no?
That's the sort of intellectual
No, why does
blackmail
no? One
which
second,
is there.
Swapan Dasgupta, Mr. Dasgupta, if that is the case, 1 minute. Why
no, you're quite right. You're quite right. And I think the first indications of saying no have come with the border start.
Then why did Modi have to? Why did Modi have
more
to?
aggressive verbal point?
No, but why did Modi have to have this summit level kind of meeting?
Repeating
why did?
You build up. Diplomatically, you must first build up your military capacity. You must build up your border
capacity. Is no argument on this one.
Done for so long.
No, capacity is.
Therefore, there is no point in shouting, no, we hate you, we get out, etc. Invite a certain thing which you are incapable of dealing with.
So what, Mr. Dasgupta was no, Mr. Dasgupta.
You have acknowledged a problem.
No, Mr. Dasgupta, 1 minute.
No
1 minute.
More.
1 minute.
Basically, you have said no more.
No, if you've said no more, then we want to know just why did you have
reversed your old China policy?
Sir, they have stung you. It's
You've
like
reversed your old China policy.
Sir, it's like you hold a scorpion in your hand and you.
Us at various points. You do not have at present. If you say
Mr. Dasgupta.
Because in 120 days he hasn't been able to build the infrastructure, the capacity.
No, it's not a capacity issue. It is a hurry issue.
With the fact that there is
no
real metal road to Tawang as yet.
No.
The fact that there are large sections which are vulnerable.
Not at all.
These are issues which are real.
Not at all.
These have got to be dealt with.
You're sidestepping.
You have signaled you will not allow it.
You have,
to my mind, that
Mr. Dasgupta, you are
policy advance.
But Dr.
You
Dasgupta,
don't always have to tom-tom it and shout it in Newshour to say policy has changed.
No, Professor, 1 second, 1 second, 1 minute.
Your action is speaking louder than words.
Mr. Dasgupta, it is not about, whether we have the capacity or not. Simple question is this, and I put this to Professor Chenoy, who it appears has been silenced by the debate, but I'd like to go back to him anyway. The question is this, it's not about capacity. We are all asking one question, what is your great hurry? You want to go to Japan, then you want to have a meeting with the Australians, now you're going to go to America, and in between you also want to meet the Chinese. You want to do the game of global diplomacy.
The elephant in the room, China.
Yes.
The answer is the elephant in the room. It's called China.
And when that elephant in the room, and when that elephant,
that's why you're in a hurry.
Yes.
That's why you cannot waste
but
time.
You've
answered it yourself.
Yes,
you've answered it or not.
You say, okay,
no,
so you.
Yes, you have.
You are wrong, Dr. Dasgupta. I'll tell you why. You say elephant in the room. You don't make the elephant in the room enter.
The point is,
Dr. Dasgupta.
If you've got a script, depart from it.
Dr. Dasgupta.
You've got a script today.
Dr. Dasgupta, I have a simple question. I feel it's very sad that the Minister of State for Home tries to clarify on behalf of the Chinese. No, 1 minute, please. You ask anyone tonight, and let me complete, anyone tonight, how do you remember the BJP before the elections? Oh, we're going to be tough with the Chinese. And people used to say, we're going to be tough on the economy. We're going to be tough with the Pakistanis. And we are going to be tough with the Chinese. Now, after the Xi Jinping statement, which says they should be prepared for a regional war, it gives, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson gives no certain assurances that statement about a regional war did not mean India. In fact, the Chinese statement, when he's asked, he says, you say Indian media are asking this question, which is whether the regional war is a reference to India, but I believe that this may be a wild guess. In other words, the Chinese give no certain reassurances that the Chinese president, when he spoke of a war, did not mean India. But our Minister of State for Home, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, immediately gives a clarification. No, the Chinese are not talking about India. I mean, this is exactly the reverse of what you said you would be before the election in terms of the BJP. I was going to Professor Chenoy, but I think the Congress spokesperson who did not answer my question on Rahul Gandhi is coming back. Why Professor Chenoy? No, Professor Chenoy, please first. No, Professor Chenoy is taking that. Yeah. Professor Chenoy, please. No.
The first point I want to make is, make some quick points.
Go ahead.
First point is that there should be an attempt by the NDA to have a national consultation on China, so we have a cohesive policy. It should be a policy which will contain Chinese aspirations. And as far as the regional comment was of President Xi, I think he was referring to the South China seas, where obviously he would not.
But why are we explaining
with
for
India's
them?
link with Vietnam?
But why are we explaining
but
for
I'm
him?
saying
Since when we did become a
But because
spokesperson for the
we
Chinese?
are also involved. We are also involved, Arnab. He doesn't like us linking up with Vietnam.
Of course he said that, Mr. Das Gupta.
He just said.
He doesn't. Can he dictate our foreign policy?
But why are we speaking for him? Why is Kiran Rijiju saying the Chinese Premier's comment is not for India?
Who has allowed foreign policy to be dictated? Not the intellectuals, not the sinologists.
China doesn't like us going to Japan. China doesn't like the president visiting Vietnam. China doesn't like Australia selling uranium. So what? We don't like a lot of things about China.
That is why we must have look at this policy as a national policy. All parties must unite. It is not a question of BJP scoring points against Congress, Congress scoring points against someone else. And it's precisely because of this partisan
someone should
politics
break off their fraternal links with the Communist Party of
this
China.
mess took place in the current visit of the president. We have to be much more nationalistic, though cool-headed in this question.
Well, it appears tonight it will not be. Yes, Sudhanshu Trivedi. No, Sudhanshu Trivedi is coming in. I have 1 minute left. 1 minute left. It appears to me we are going to have to be really slow and cautious with the Chinese here on. Yes, Sudhanshu Trivedi, hurry is not an issue. You're not.
I didn't get a chance. Please let me make my
All
point.
of us
I just want to say one thing. National security is paramount. But today, after the Chinese envoy was summoned and by the MEA, you have enormous build-up in Tibet. This policy is not working.
Yeah.
We have to do something different.
Right.
Today you see that build-up in Tibet. This is very grave. Let's not do partisan
okay.
security.
That's the real
What are we doing different?
That would be a
What are we
good
doing
way.
Is because you didn't build roads. And they also built...
Last word to the BJP tonight, he hasn't spoken. Yes, Sudhanshu Trivedi. Last word.
Going to help you today see the enormous build-up in
those who didn't have guts to call to Chinese envoy are now today telling us a lesson. And second thing, all who are sitting here are learned enough to understand that if there is a conflict between India and China, it is not going to be the regional conflict. It is going to be a global conflict. Third thing, I would like to counter what Mr. Raja has said, that Chinese aggression is because our government is trying to be close towards Washington. I would like to remind that it is the BJP government.
Please let them understand how grave are these intelligence reports being shown on your channel.
I think it will be. I think one small observation. You see, in 100 days, no, like the Modi government says, the Modi government says that in 100 days, don't expect us to change India, don't expect us to change the economy and change everything from poverty to everything in 100 days. I think nobody is expecting them to change diplomacy in 100 days. But to repeat the mistakes of the previous government will be wrong. And to go from the frying pan to the fire is also not good, because Modi is traveling to the US. He must be very careful that he doesn't go from the frying pan to the fire, that he deals with the Americans also with a fair amount of circumspection. Thank you very much for joining me on this debate on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.